you think that you're going to beat Mike Tyson?
It just pisses me off. And then...
You're good. Take a break.
Yeah, take a breather. We can sit for a second.
Jake Paul,
27.
You are a disgrace of a man. You are the epitome of weakness.
When you get challenged by someone who's a guy like a Jake Paul, does that piss you off?
No, it doesn't.
No?
I think it's awesome.
You think it's awesome?
Yeah, it does piss me off. I think it's awesome.
You think it's cool?
Jake Paul natural? No. I can say that with pretty certain confidence in that statement, mainly because, as you heard me mention, I know a lot of the people he trains with, and I have heard things.
Jake Paul is in full panic mode after Mike Tyson released shocking training footage and bizarre audio files.
I seen him working out the other day, and he throws some good combinations. So it's always 6-punch combinations.
These files reveal Paul's alleged match-fixing schemes and drug use, sending the boxing world into a frenzy.
But it's wild the amount of people that think Mike actually stands a chance against me.
What does this mean for Paul's career? And can he handle the new, tougher fight rules imposed by Tyson? Watch the video to find out.
Hey, but what if he knocks you out?
Just look away.
The atmosphere was tense in the boxing community as news spread like wildfire. Mike Tyson, the legendary heavyweight champion, had released footage of his latest training sessions.
It's their power. And Mike Tyson is a knockout guy. I mean, if Tyson trained for the fight and really be in tip-top shape, take this fight serious, I think Jake Paul will hurt.
This wasn't just any ordinary footage, it was a clear message that Iron Mike was far from done with the ring. Now, every fighter has bad days during training, right? While sparring fails are usually kept private, this one somehow made its way into the public eye, and the footage has been making the rounds on social media. Jake is set to step into the ring for two of the toughest fights of his career. The YouTuber-turned boxer is scheduled to fight Mike Perry on July 20th, and then his highly anticipated clash with Mike Tyson on November 15th at the T Arena. Both these opponents will pose a real challenge in the ring, and it will be like nothing he's faced before. These are real fights. Boxing isn't just a game. If you're not 100% prepared, you're going to get hurt. This isn't some YouTube prank, it's real life, and Jake needs to understand that. Let's jump to Rogan's reaction. Don't get me wrong, the UFC commentator isn't a hater. He gives the problem child credit where it's due. You can't deny that Jake has given us some epic knockouts. I'm sure you've seen his fights with Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren. Paul can crack minus 100%. That knockout of Tyron Woodley is legit as ____. He can crack. However, he's in deep waters after his recent sparring mishap. Take it from Rogan, the kid has worked hard and he's taken on some tough opponents. But this knockout is a wake-up call. There's a big difference between fighting other celebrities or retired athletes and stepping into the ring with a real seasoned professional boxer. Jake needs to understand that. Come on. You can't compare fighting Mike Tyson to a fight with Tommy Fury or Nate Diaz. He's up against the baddest man on the planet this time, and that's not something you can rule out. Rogan's recent verbal jabs at Jake Paul's approach to training and fighting have everyone talking. The UFC commentator believes that Jake might be getting too cocky and not respecting the sport enough, and he's not alone. Fans have noticed this too. Paul hasn't taken his fight with Tyson seriously. Even for a second, ever since it was announced, he's treating this like he's stepping into the ring with a newbie. Jake's got a problem with crossing that overconfidence line, but this time he has really taken things too far. Do you think you can knock him out? I think there's a very high chance of that. He's not the same fighter that he once was, and he knows that. Jake said. But this overconfidence might just be his downfall. On the other hand, Mike Tyson, the 57-year-old beast, is gearing up like he's preparing for his debut. There's a reason why Mike's considered the best boxer of all time. He's got a champion's mindset, which means he gives every single fight his blood, sweat, and tears. No matter who the opponent is, even in a clash with Jake Paul, he's training like a beast. Mike's training footage compared to Jake's sparring fail is a wake-up call for the YouTuber-turned boxer, to say the least. This performance has raised a lot of eyebrows in the fight world, and boxing pros are hopping on the bandwagon to share their 2 cents on the whole fiasco. Very few have praised Jake Paul for finally stepping in with tough opponents, while many others are on the same page as Rogan and believe that Jake might be in over his head. UFC President Dana White always has something to say about Jake, and he has weighed in. White has been against the Mike Tyson BS. Jake Paul matchup since day one. He's a strong believer that Mike should stay out of the ring for good and respect his age. He believes that Paul is making a dirty move. by not only challenging but stepping into the ring with Mike, who will be 58 by the time this fight sees the light of day. Meanwhile, Floyd Mayweather, who has had his own back and forth with Jake Paul, shared his take on the scenario too. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's levels to this sport. Jake needs to understand that he's not at the top level, yet Money Mayweather likes to stay out of the drama as much as he can, but he couldn't keep his opinion about Mike Tyson vs. Jake Paul to himself. This mismatch clash has everyone talking, and due to the overhype, a lot of people are forgetting that Jake's got another hurdle to cross before he puts up gloves against Tyson. This guy is fighting Mike Perry in a couple of weeks, and this fight is going to be a close one.
He is explosive. He's learning. He's getting better.
Mike Perry isn't 58, he's a 32-year-old athlete in his prime, and that brings a lot to the table. Jake hasn't fought an athlete close to his age in quite some time, so this one can really pose a real challenge in the ring. If you haven't been up to speed, let me fill you in with everything you need to know about Mike Perry. Perry is a former UFC star with a record of 1-4-8-0, but bare knuckle is where he truly shines and dominates the game. Platinum is undefeated in bare knuckle with a record of 5-0, and it's safe to say that he's easily the league's biggest star. Now, if you're wondering about his boxing record, he's only ever stepped into the ring once against Kenneth McNeil and failed to come out on top. But that doesn't change anything, because if there's anyone who can pull off an upset, it's Perry.
And I'm gonna knock the teeth out of his mouth. Jake, I'll beat your ass, bitch. July 20th. Come and see it. Emily Arena, Tampa, Florida. Days and pay-per-view.
The video showed Tyson delivering powerful punches with a speed and precision that were reminiscent of his glory days. His movements were sharp, his technique refined, and his demeanor as fierce as ever.
I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been.
Mike Tyson is an absolute killer. So I was scared of going up against Mike Tyson. I was unsure. Scared.
It was clear that Tyson had been diligently preparing for a return.
There's no one to stop me. Conqueror, no, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
And the sight of him in peak condition sent shockwaves through the boxing world.
I don't see how Jake survives a body attack.
Can I make the comparison to Yoda in Star Wars? Like, you know Yoda. Yeah. Like, he'd be hobbling around, doing whatever, but when Yoda goes to battle, he can't be Yoda. That's his name.
But Tyson didn't stop at just showcasing his training.
Kind of insulted. It's brave, it's bold of him, but it's like, Jesus Christ, there's levels to this world.
Alongside the footage, he released audio files that were nothing short of explosive. These files contained conversations that painted Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned boxer, in a very different light. The recordings included discussions about match fixing and drug use, accusations that could potentially end Paul's career. The audio files were verified by forensic audio analysts, ensuring their authenticity and leaving no room for Paul to dismiss them as fake news.
I train every day. The process goes through the whole day. I get up in the morning, do the road work, then I go to the gym at 1, then I go to the strength and conditioning guy, then it starts all over again.
The last thing to go with any fighter.
In the audio files, Jake Paul is caught red-handed plotting to fix a match with Mike Perry.
I don't see Jake doing much against Mike.
He is heard instructing his secretary on how to bribe Perry's team to ensure Perry hits the mat in the third round. This revelation is a big deal in the sports world. Match fixing undermines the integrity of the sport, and fans who spend their hard-earned money expecting a genuine contest feel betrayed. The consequences for Paul could be severe, with the potential for a lifetime ban from professional boxing. But the match-fixing scandal isn't the only bombshell in the audio files. Paul is also heard discussing his use of steroids and cocaine. He asked his secretary to procure steroids to boost his performance in cocaine for recreational use. Both substances are strictly banned in professional sports, and the use of them could lead to severe penalties for Paul. If found guilty of match-fixing and drug use, Paul could face a lifetime ban from professional boxing. Sponsors and endorsements, which are crucial income streams for athletes, would likely vanish. The public backlash could further isolate him from his fan base, and the trust that is so important in sports would be gone. For Paul, this scandal could be a career-ending blow. Despite his age, Tyson's training footage shows that he still possesses incredible power and speed. His iconic uppercuts and devastating hooks indicate that he is far from past his prime. The boxing community is buzzing with excitement at the prospect of seeing Tyson back in the ring. Tyson's movements are sharp, his technique refined, and his demeanor as fierce as ever. It is clear that he has been diligently preparing for a return, and the sight of him in peak condition has reportedly made Paul reconsider his ambitions. Sources close to Paul reveal that he was taken aback by the video and is now re-evaluating his potential matchup with Tyson. The sight of Tyson in peak condition has reportedly made Paul reconsider his ambitions. The release of the footage and audio files has left Paul in a precarious situation, facing potential legal consequences and a formidable opponent in the ring.
When fighting gets you wrecked, what does that mean? Well, that means Tyson in his prime, when he was just storming the gates
He just stalked people down and smashed them. Just you couldn't stop him.
But the real bombshell isn't just Tyson's impressive training, it's the bizarre audio files he leaked alongside the footage. These recordings include conversations where Paul discusses match fixing and other dubious tactics. The audio files have been verified by forensic audio analysts to be genuine. In the audio, Jake is caught red-handed plotting to fix a match with Mike Perry. Paul is heard instructing his secretary on how to bribe Perry's team to ensure Perry hits the mat in the third round. Match fixing is a huge deal in the sports world, and this revelation could potentially end Paul's career. Fans shell out their hard-earned money expecting a genuine contest, only to be duped by such underhanded tactics. The audio files also reveal Paul's discussions about using steroids and cocaine. Jake is heard asking his secretary to procure steroids to boost his performance in cocaine for recreational use. Using these substances is strictly banned in professional sports and could lead to severe penalties. If found guilty of match fixing and drug use, Paul could face a lifetime ban from professional boxing. Sponsors and endorsements, crucial income streams for athletes, would likely vanish. The public backlash could further isolate him from his fan base. Trust is everything in sports, and once it's gone, good luck getting it back. Despite his age, Tyson's training footage shows that he still possesses incredible power and speed. His iconic uppercuts and devastating hooks indicate that he is far from past his prime. The boxing community is buzzing with excitement at the prospect of seeing Tyson back in the ring. The fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, initially scheduled for July 20th, has been postponed to November 15th due to Tyson's health issues. The new rules imposed by Tyson make the match even tougher for Paul, pushing him to his limits.
I looked at Tyson's history, he's coming from the same history that I'm coming from, He spent some time in incarceration. While he was in incarceration, I'm still out there fighting and training hard. He didn't have that.
Tyson has changed the fight rules to include extended round durations, shorter rest periods, no headgear, continuous knockdowns, and more. These changes are designed to exploit Paul's weaknesses and give Tyson the upper hand.
Tyson can throw a punch, he can take a punch, so, he's doing something that he's used to. Now, Jake Paul makes sure that he's not in the way of those punches because Tyson's a real fighter. You gotta try and stay away from him, stay away from his power.
Jake Paul is now in a precarious situation, facing potential legal consequences and a formidable opponent in the ring.
I'm an exponent of the art of fight. I'm a student of war. Me and Alexander and Napoleon, I know them all. I read them all, I studied them all. You getting ready for you? When did you know you wanted to get physical?
The upcoming fight will be a true test of his abilities and resilience. As the anticipation builds, fans and critics alike are eager to see how this saga unfolds. So what do you think about this whole situation? Will Jake Paul manage to redeem himself, or is he doomed to face the wrath of iron?
I don't think he's faster than me.
You can't touch me, you're not man enough.